ladies and gentlemen, this is the crocodile who is going to eat Mr. Putin. Mr. Putin, the criminal, the terrorist Putin. From Katya. Hello from Darina. Hello from Taras. Taras has some dinosaurs on his t-shirt. Taras, покажи нам динозавров. This t-shirt came all the way from the USA, they are going to eat Putin too. This crocodile came from the US too, and this crocodile is going to eat Putin. And this t-shirt was given to me by Steven. Steven, if you're watching this, hello. Steven visited Ukraine last year, and before the visit, he was asking me as a tour guide, like, Olena, what do you think if people will see like a t-shirt like this in Ukraine? How will they react? Will they be like hostile or friendly? Steven, you checked it last year, but this year it will be even better. This year, if you are wearing such a t-shirt in Ukraine, people will say hello, they will hug you, they will kiss you, and they will say thank you. Hello everyone. Hello. So it happened that it started from our Ukrainian-American friendship in this video, which means really a lot to us. Even though I wanted to say something about our Ukraine and European friendship, about the very important events that happened yesterday. Basically, it was like the night in Ukraine. So what everybody is talking about today is about the EU membership candidate status. Irina, what up? Hello. Hi. Yeah, I love you. I love you too, my dear baby. I love you. Yes, I love you. So, as you probably know, Ukraine received officially the status of a European Union member. And this means really a lot. Me and my sister, we congratulated each other, for example, and my father too. And on Facebook, the main social media here in Ukraine is Facebook, the place where we exchange our opinions and thoughts and everything, and photographs and selfies. So all the feedback of my Facebook this night was about European Union. And several of my friends posted a photograph that I will show to you right now. Ooh, Darina says, ooh. So this is the photograph. So this is the photograph. And I hope you can see this. Do you see Olena on this photograph? Darina, oh господи, Darina wants to participate. Yeah. Okay, Darina will help me to hold this photograph. So this is the photograph on which you will see me somewhere. Oh, мяч. So, sorry guys. So this is me here. This is me. So this is my friend Olga. Right now she is the excellent journalist, like expert, political expert. She gives interviews to CNN, BBC, everything. This is Ksenia. She is right now with her son abroad as a refugee, and the same she is a writer as well, a translator, and she gives lots of interviews as an expert. This is Tatiana. We started together in the same university. Tatiana, Ksenia, and Olga. Tatiana right now I guess somewhere in the east of Ukraine, she is writing articles for the top media of Great Britain, of the US. This is Grigory Zhigalov. I used to work with him for the same media in Ukraine TV channel. Now he works for BBC, like he is one of the faces of BBC Ukraine. And we are right now in the year 2013, that was 9 years ago, November, and we were in the center of Kiev. This is a protest that occasionally became well known as Revolution of Dignity. Maidan. This was our revolution of dignity, where we defended our right to become a member of European Union. You see, we are holding the flags of European Union. And now I want to show you something more. So this is the flag. I found it today. I knew where it was placed. This is the same flag of European Union that I'm holding on this picture 9 years ago. Here it is. By the way, Katya is also on this photograph. Guess where? Katya is in my belly. I was pregnant with Katya when the Revolution of Dignity was happening. I thought I had such a big belly on this photo that it wasn't visible. Basically, right now I have even a bigger belly after giving birth to 3 children. So Katya is on this picture too. And by the way, Sergei is on this photograph too, because as far as I remember, it was him who took this picture. Because he, as always, Mr. I'm fine, who doesn't want to be on the picture. I have so little photographs with him. This was the Revolution of Dignity. On this picture, it's still very peaceful. You know, the reason for this was the pro-Russian president Yanukovych, who 9 years ago decided that Ukraine should change its direction from European integration towards Russia. And we went on the street protesting. In February, after a few months of protests, about 100 people were shot dead in the center of Kiev, peaceful protesters. And this was basically awful, you know. We thought, I remember my feelings, it was so awful, and I could not imagine that anything as bloody as this could happen in Ukraine. And back then I didn't know what was coming next. What next was coming? Yes, Yanukovych, he ran away to Russia, and we changed the authorities who were not democratic, and the new elections took place, and the European choice of Ukraine was confirmed by the people, and Russia used this like a political crisis in which Ukraine was back then, and they invaded the east of Ukraine. First they took Crimea, and Ukraine was not shooting at all, and they took the east of Ukraine. The policy of the Russia back then, 9 years ago, was it wasn't me, нас там нет, they were saying, which means we are not over there. There are no Russian troops, they were saying, in Crimea or in the east of Ukraine. Well, today, you know that it's now like officially confirmed that it was a Russian weapon given to the pro-Russian activists in the east of Ukraine to shoot the airplane. This famous airplane, infamous airplane. Back then, Ukraine started to fight for its territory, for its sovereignty, for its for itself, but kind of peaceful negotiations started, and there was like a frozen zone in the east of Ukraine, and like a peaceful agreement was signed with Russia, right? So there was like the ceasefire. And the lesson that we learned from 9 years ago, that Russia will never stop itself. Yeah, so they just used these 9 years, you know, to start the new war, which is even more bloody, which is even more cruel. And now it's not only 100 protesters that are killed for their European choice. Now there are thousands of Ukrainians who are dead because of their choice to be an independent country, a member of the European family. So we really celebrate the day. We really think that the fact that Ukraine is given this official status to become European Union candidate, it's great, huge historical event, because our nation, our country, our people paid for this with our blood. We paid a really, really big price to become a part of European family. And the top message of my friends, most of whom are journalists who post on Facebook, is like, at least now we know that it was not in vain, the death of these heavenly 100 people who were killed on Maidan 9 years ago when the Revolution of Dignity started. And now there's thousands of people who are killed right now, thousands of Ukrainian defenders who are dying on the front line, thousands of people who get wounded, that it's not in vain. Yeah, we are fighting for our future to stay independent, free European country.
Mama.
For Ukraine to be part of Europe or to be part of Russian world, it's a very important choice. It's the choice of civilization in which we are living. And we've been living in both civilizations, in European and in the Russian too, in the Soviet, which is equal to Russian. So we know what we are losing if Russia takes us under its influence, because we've been in the Soviet Union, we've been in the Russian Empire. There is nothing good for us, for Ukraine as a nation at all. They just don't recognize us as a nation. They want to commit a genocide. Yeah, they just want to take this territory, and as we do not want to be part of their barbaric world, they decided that they understand that the only way how they can control this territory is basically commit a genocide here, just to kill the most of the population, and it would be easier to control those of us who are left here. One more message that I wanted to send you is that if you think that becoming part of European family is like a fancy new thing that's in fashion right now, it's not true. We've been, walking in this direction for very long time. Now, Ukraine is officially like independent state the last 30 years, 30, yes. So this is at least 30 years of our way towards Europe, yes, from Russia. But if you look back, it lasts even longer. So basically, Ukraine was under Great Russian influence the last 300 years. Like, is it really influence? It's like 300 years ago, Russia decided to call itself Russia, and take for itself the heritage of Kievan Rus, and to become the empire. Peter I, he decided that Moscow Kingdom will become Russian Empire, and he will become the emperor, and that he will take back Russian lands. Rus is Ukraine. And they started this war to take us, to invade and to occupy Ukraine, to make this country the part of this territory, the part of their country. Well, the main reason for this is the money, basically. Yes, the Ukraine is very fertile country. We have very fertile soils here, black soils, and now you see how much Ukraine can give as a country that is agricultural. If we even improve our agricultural skills, We have very good soils. We have some other very rich, Ukraine is a country with rich resources, and we have trade routes. We have the rivers and we have the Black Sea. We still have it. So these were the reasons why. And now Putin, recently last week, you remember how he said that basically you can call me like Peter the First. So he took off the mask completely. And he said that he is doing the same what Peter the First did 300 years ago, taking back the lands that belong to Russia. Which is nonsense. But unfortunately, this nonsense comes here with weapons, with tanks, with airplanes, and kills. And we need to protect ourselves, and we need to defend ourselves, and we need to defend Europe and the free world of Europe. And the free world, not only of Europe, but of the West. This is why basically I put this t-shirt on myself too, which means Darina is falling asleep now. Our Ukrainian and American friendship. Yes. Those of you who maybe are tired, of democracy, of freedoms that you have, guys, if you lose it for some time, you will feel the difference. Believe me, behind the Iron Curtain, it was not good. And these traditional values that Russia is having, we've seen these traditional values in Bucha, in Irpin, in Mariupol, in Gostomel, in Borodyanka, in all these places where Russia committed awful war crimes. This is the real face of the great Russian culture. And we know this face very well, very well. I'm trying to read your comments at the same time. And I can agree with Hip Deep and ask you to hit the like button for support. That would be lovely. I can see that there are 85 people watching us right now. So it would be nice to see that you like what you're watching, if you like it, of course. Oh. Yes, hello to everybody. Katya is reading right now the book. Okay. Що ти хочеш сказати? Do you have anything to say? Because basically, I think I said what I wanted. Such a my speech. Hello, Ahaya. Hello. Oh, always happy to see you too. Okay, so Darina fell asleep. She's falling asleep. This is good. So we are really happy to become officially EU candidate country, because that means a lot. That means a lot for us. Okay? It's almost evening time. It's almost 7 p.m. right now in Kyiv. And after this stream, I think we will go outdoors to play on the playground. If you follow my YouTube, you know that recently we bought some clean sand for the playground. Now it's over there, and kids of the neighborhood, all of them are on the sand, and they're really happy. And when I was ordering the sand and when I was helping to spread it around, I was feeling like I'm bringing Europe to my playground. Because there is a lot of work to do here in Ukraine now to confirm our European choice and our European rights. But people are inspired, and we are really ready to do this. Inspiration, a lot of inspiration and hope and confirmation that we are not alone. That is what we are receiving right now. And now I have I have a feeling that Ukraine is like in the space, moving with the space speed very fast towards something. Unfortunately, on the way we are losing so many people. The best of our people are dying right now on the front line. Some of you asked, how is Serhiy, my husband? My husband is fine. He is in the army. We keep in touch. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you where exactly he is, but like, how to say, you shouldn't worry too much for him, let's say. He is not in critical danger, so he is fine. Okay, don't worry too much. I just cannot tell you where exactly because it's not good to spread this kind of information, but he is fine. Yeah, he is always saying I'm fine, but now I know that he is fine, and I'm fine too. I'm fine. I kind of accepted that he is in the army and he will be there for a long time, as long as needed. And I'm waiting here in Ukraine for him to come back home, and most probably he will come back home after the victory, or at least after some, good stage of fighting, when the situation will be more understandable and on our side. So I believe it will be okay, that, and I want it to be okay for, of course, for all the people of Ukraine, because we keep paying this huge price for our European choice, for defending the free world from barbaric Russia. We are protecting our civilization, our democracy, our freedom, and just normal way of life. This is what we are standing for. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon, sending me PayPal and everything. Thank you so much. This really helps. Yeah, this really helps. I feel very grateful. However, I received one comment like, "Oh, Lena, I see that you have enough." So, I mean, I do have enough. I mean, this is our apartment. It's not the rent. It's our apartment. It's good apartment. We have a car. We have, we are not hungry. We have everything that, but yeah, we have enough. Yeah, that's right. The only thing I need, is victory of Ukraine and my husband to come back home alive, and safety for Ukraine, and that means victory of Ukraine. So I will not ask you to donate to my family because we are really okay. I mean, but I will say thank you to those of you who do this. Yes, I will not say no if you do. I say thank you. You can go on my Patreon page and you will see how much donations I get. And if I'm talking about what I'll ask you to do is to donate to the Ukrainian army or to donate to some other organizations. There is a link to one of these foundations in Ukraine in the description. So I think this is the best foundation to donate, and this is Serhiy Prytula Foundation. And by the way, this is another reason for my happiness recently, because it was his birthday recently, and he was collecting money for Bayraktar. Bayraktar is the Turkish, a big drone that is hitting with the missiles, and it showed itself very well when Russians were coming towards Kiev. And these Bayraktars are one of the reasons why I am alive with my family and Kiev did not fall down. Those Bayraktars, and they are huge and they are great, and they are very expensive. And Serhiy Prytula, he to understand, such a great feeling to understand that today somebody used your money to buy Bayraktar for Ukraine. Like I feel connected to something really, huge and nice and beautiful and important. So I help Ukraine to make one more step towards victory. And what I feel just by staying here in Ukraine, by, just buying a loaf of bread in the local supermarket. This is my small investment into the economy of Ukraine. The fact that I stay in Kiev and buy local food in the local supermarkets and everything. This is the way like I move the local economy, and it's very important, I think. So we stay here and do whatever we can. Of course, I still have this feeling that I'm not doing enough. But I understand that if I give up and if I feel down, I will do even less and less and less. So breathe in, breathe out, and keep calm and carry on and stand for Ukraine and keep fighting for Ukraine the way you can.
Putin need to be eaten by a crocodile and cheetah.
Agree. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your support. Yeah, thank you for your comments. I love reading it. One of the huge reasons for my positive vibes is this is the reason number 1. Behind me is the reason number 2. And here is the reason number 3. Just look at her. Just look at her. Look at this baby. Tomorrow Darina will be 8 months old. Happy birthday, Darina. Today it's officially 4 months of the war. So half of her life, really half of her life, passed without her daddy by her side and with the war around her. She was 4 months old when the war started, and now she is 8 months old. Yeah, the whole family needs peace, Colin. I agree with you. Yes, peace is what we need most of all. Really. Peace. Peace. And Katya is 8 years old right now. And if you think about it, that basically Putin stepped on our operational Ukrainian soil for the first time 8 years ago when Katya was born. So this war with Russia lasts as long as Katya, these 8 years. You can see that Katya is big. So the war already lasts for long. And I hope it will be over now. That Putin will not be pacified anymore. Because if you give if a criminal is not punished, what the criminal does, he becomes even, more aggressive, more cruel, more bloody. Because if he is not punished, nothing stops him. When Putin invaded Ukraine 8 years ago, he wasn't really punished for this. No, he wasn't. Yes. Unfortunately, he kept selling gas and oil and everything and shaking hands with European and American leaders, and he was recognized as one of the world leaders. And right now, I think after this, in these 8 years, what he was doing, he was preparing this new and now full-scale war of Ukraine, even more bloody. at that first. I hope that this time he will not be, like forgiven for this. And I really feel happy that after the president of France and the chancellor of Germany and prime minister of Italy and the president of Romania, after their visit to Kiev, we were kind of worried that they would ask Ukraine to sign kind of a peaceful agreement about a ceasefire with the criminal. We were very worried, but thanks God they didn't. When they saw with their own eyes the war crimes that Russia have committed here, they just couldn't. I think they just couldn't say to Zelensky, like, what about making friends with Putin, making a deal with Putin? They just didn't dare because it was too much that Russia have done here. Too much. Well, thank you very much for this conversation. I really enjoyed your comments, the most of them. And I see that we are on the same page. And it is really wonderful. Thank you for this. Each time before the stream, I feel like worried that I'm not prepared enough for the topic and like what useful information can I give to you? But each time after the stream, I feel just wonderful because I feel like I'm talking to my friends and we just, exchange our thoughts and feelings. And this is so great. Thank you. Thank you.
Putin is a piece of shit.
Sharing with you my sweet Darina
Please.
that gives positive vibes to everybody, to the whole world. The baby. And Katya, of course, too. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Taras, say goodbye.
Запам'ятайте це слово. Назавжди.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Okay, ciao, ciao. Bye.
Що таке чау-чау?
Arrivederci, au revoir.
Мама, що таке чау-чау?
До widzenia. Bye-bye.
А що таке чау-чау?